can just
maintain
at a concert.
Because that's what they did.
Yes.
Race car.
Almost done. Well, I'm gonna try to call Jamie and Nicole. All right. Grammy, we'll be back. Still be coming back to this place because as Grams always put it, it's home. It's why I've got a slight southern drawl that I can't get rid of. It's ingrained in me. Wait, so what is this stuff now? Going through your Grams stuff. Part of my grandma's legacy is her collection of things. Things she saved for me that my mom recently passed down. A box full of grandma's books and official papers, all centering Somerset. This is a record. It's a record. Another descendant, Jeffrey Littlejohn, wrote a theme song for the Somerset album. And my Grams had saved the record. Even had it autographed.
The Ray family decided to drop them. They wanted to charge me $1 for this thing that went on this afternoon, the last 30 days. I already started. Now they wanted $47. So I thought, I can pay you $47 for that. They're too expensive. Yeah, they teach you, but so does everybody else. I found a few people that actually do something. But some of them are worth the shit, like the one I got a refund from. They give me all that money back for $500.
How to get more out of them.
Got it all back.
This episode was produced by Christina Kalla, Jess Kung, and me. It was edited by Courtney Stein. Was engineered by Maggie Luther. It was produced for radio by Jess Kung. I'm B.A. Parker. Hydrate. You're listening to NPR.
Colorado Public Radio receives support from members, like network partners who ensure CPR's growth. Thanks to Kathy and Nick Roth and Peter Stevenson. Learn more about giving levels on the support page at cpr.org.
I figured he might come home tonight.
The past is never past.
And the audacity and nerve to make a bid for the presidency of the United States.
Back in the days when Grandma
feel history as opposed merely to knowing facts of history.
I'm Run Rapid Fatah.
I'm Tina Kaplan. Join us each week on Daylight from NPR as we go back in time
to understand the present.
Saturday evenings at 7. Again, Sunday afternoons at 3.
Support for NPR comes from this station And from Uma, a cloud-based phone service for any size business with an automated virtual receptionist, video meetings, and other features to connect to customers and coworkers anywhere at uma.com/NPR. From Indeed, designed to be an end-to-end hiring solution for businesses of all sizes to attract, interview, and hire candidates, all from one platform. Learn more at Indeed.com/NPR. And from the Doris Duke Foundation.
2019, you didn't do this.
This is NPR's Life Kit. I'm Mariel Segarra.
You have to go through a damn third party just to get stuff done just so they could fuck you.
Every night, that time rolls around, right? We close our eyes, and then we go on adventures in our brains. Alice Robb is a journalist and the author of the book Why We Dream.
2023.
State. I mean, it's like being on
Sign
drugs.
here. What the fuck did I do wrong on 2023?
Yeah. Dreaming is trippy as hell.
Everything was very heightened, and it felt very, very sensual, like it was just swimming in a pool.
Floating over a pool
I'm not
of
getting any
ketchup
money.
and mustard.
Oh,
On my boss.
great, and sign your copy.
On stage, and then they were like, "You're gonna
Guess you
go
have a
up
reason.
on stage while Taylor Swift is singing Enchanted, and you're gonna be on
You
a
didn't
horse,
print your name?
like those dipping cups, you know,
Yeah,
for your
sign
chicken
it.
nuggets,
Printed
except
it.
they were pulled like in ground."
They had fairly standard
Fucking
roll
assholes.
clothes of little pointy hats and colorful medieval shirts and baggy medieval.
My first name is Steven, it's not Steve. Fuck you guys. Where are you getting your fucking information? A social security card?
The last voice you
Fuck
heard
you,
is Deirdre
goddamn
Barrett.
stupid
She's a dream
motherfucker.
researcher at Harvard.
I'm not getting
And the
any money
dreams
off
she's
this.
describing were part of a recurring nightmare she had as a kid. She says they kind of look like Richard Nixon.
Fucking assholes.
The thing is,
Just don't want you to
dreams
do
are
your own
more than
fucking
just
taxes,
weird
so
little
they gotta
movies
screw
your
with
brain
you.
puts on while you sleep.
I did
You
those
could
right.
think of them
Did
as
every
an
one of them fuckers
opportunity.
right?
Our dreaming mind is much
Okay, here
more
says
active
Steven.
in visual areas. It's somewhat less active in verbal, logical, linear areas. Our dreams are
And Mr. Stephen Pruitt
loose kind of thinking.
coming to go see Craig.
Tight,
Fucking
logical thinking.
So
This one
dreams
right
can be
here?
a source of creativity. They can give us
Come
different
see us.
ways of looking at a situation. And they can help us
fuck you
learn,
guys. I
problem
hate to see you
solve.
guys. Nothing wrong with you.
They're giving us
I bet you if I do see you, there will be.
ideas, whether we remember them
You
or
fuck
not.
around with people again. Sorry.
Today on Life Kit, we're going to go on a
really
how-to
good
adventure
thing.
into Dream World with these two experts. We'll talk about what role dreams can play in your life, how you can remember them, understand them, and use them as a tool. And we'll even teach you how to banish a nightmare. Okay, we're going to start with some Dream World 101. I asked Alice Robb, who spent years learning about dreams for her book, why do we dream? She says there are lots of theories. One is that we're running through a kind of threat simulation.
Common feelings in dreams are things like fear, anxiety, guilt, helplessness. So there's actually a theory that comes to us from evolutionary psychology that one of the functions of dreams is to help us prepare for dangerous situations, kind of worst case scenarios in real life.
That theory's been tested in different ways. In one study, researchers followed students who were preparing for an exam, and they found that the ones who had nightmares about exam day, like they were running late or they forgot the answers, that sort of thing,
The more dreams they were having like that, the better they actually performed. So, you might dream about missing your alarm and then you think, I better set too.
Another theory is that dreams can be a form of wish fulfillment, the place to get what we want. And then there's an understanding that dreams can help us process our emotions. Deirdre Barrett, the dream researcher at Harvard, says dreams can serve all of these functions and more.
I think it's kind of like asking what the function of waking thought is.
Meaning, our waking thoughts don't just serve one purpose, and our sleeping thoughts don't either. So, takeaway 1, dreams have a lot of applications. Think about how you want to use them. Do you want to understand your emotions? To figure out what's really bothering you? To prepare for an upcoming test or performance or event? Are dreams a spiritual practice? In a lot of cultures and spiritual traditions, dreams are seen as a sacred space where you can communicate with your ancestors and even divine the future. Maybe they're meaningful for you in that way. Dreams can also be a source of creativity or inspiration for you, as they have been for artists throughout the ages. Mary Shelley, Robert Louis Stevenson, Salvador Dali, Paul McCartney.
Now, I promise you don't have to be Paul McCartney to be inspired or enlightened by your dreams. And that brings me to takeaway 2. Understand and interpret your dreams. Deirdre says, to start, you're going to want to say your intention out loud at bedtime.
Just tell yourself as you're falling asleep that you want to remember your dreams.
You can also try meditating. Researchers have found that people who meditate regularly remember more of their dreams. And then first thing when you wake up, grab onto whatever dream you remember before it slips away. You can do this by writing in a notebook or dictating your dream into your phone.
But if for some reason you don't want to keep a dream journal, at least just take the moment when you first wake up to notice what you were dreaming and think about whether it has any potential relevance to important things in your waking life.
Pay close attention to any symbols or images you remember. And this is the part where we get into dream interpretation with an exercise you can do at home. I told Deirdre about a dream I'd had that week. I was in this house and suddenly there was this lion and I ran away from it just in time, but just as I was running away, it went roar and bit the back of me. But I got away. What does that mean? Deirdre told me, first of all, don't bother buying one of those dream dictionaries that says, if you see a lion, it means this, or if your teeth fall out, it means that. This is really about figuring out what the symbols in the dream mean to you. And you can do that through questions like,
tell me what a lion is. Pretend I'm from another planet, don't know what a lion is.
For me, lions are a symbol of strength and leadership, but I'm also terrified of them.
And then I would pick out the other key elements in the dream, like what is one's back? How is that different from any other part of one's body? What is the back?
To me, the back is a vulnerable spot where people can sneak up on you. So I concluded that I've been taking on a more direct leadership role at work, and sometimes being in charge scares me. That tracks. But, try this at home. See what your dream symbols mean to you. Over time, you might start to notice patterns. Now, up until now, we've been talking about how to remember and interpret the dreams you have. But I've got exciting news, and this is takeaway 3. You don't have to wait for dreams to happen to you. You can co-create your dreams with your sleeping mind before your head hits the pillow.
There's something we call dream incubation.
Practice actually has roots in a lot of ancient cultures. One early example is the Greeks,
who had temples where people went to sleep to usually try to have a healing dream about a physical problem.
And we'll get into how to do this. But first, remember your why. Do you want to use dreams to help problem solve? Because dream incubation can help. Maybe you're trying to figure out how to arrange the furniture in your new apartment, or you need help with a homework problem you've been puzzling over. Deirdre conducted a study on this, where she asked 76 students to choose a problem they needed to solve. They tended to pick personal problems, relationship dilemmas, or job decisions, things like that. And they did dream incubation for a week. About 50% of them remembered a dream about the problem, and a majority of those students felt it solved the problem. So dream incubation isn't foolproof. It won't work every time, but it could be worth a try. Here's how you do it. Just before you fall asleep, you're going to tell yourself, I want to dream about X.
And just have a simple phrase, or at most a sentence, about your question or problem or topic. Tell yourself verbally you want to dream about it, and then find an image that really embodies it.
Could be a mental image, or maybe you look at a physical photo or an object. Deirdre says, by the way, the reason this works is that your dreams are informed by the experiences, emotions, places, and people that you've encountered in your waking life. You can use dream incubation for other things too. Like if you're having a nightmare over and over, you can try to change the dream by coming up with an alternate ending during your waking life.
And then every night as you're falling asleep, you'd be saying the simpler version of, if the nightmare starts tonight, I want it to take this other path.
This can be a really helpful exercise for people with post-traumatic stress disorder who may want to do it with the guidance of a therapist. You can also use dream incubation to craft yourself a fun little dream. Maybe before you go to sleep, you tell yourself, tonight I want to dream about sitting down to an all-you-can-eat buffet made up entirely of dessert. Or I want to dream that I'm having a love affair with my celebrity crush. Worth a shot, right? Okay, so we're learning that we can take control of our dreams. Our next takeaway is about the ultimate form of that. If you want to take your dreams to the next level, try lucid dreaming. Lucid dreams are a phenomenon where you're asleep and you become aware that you're dreaming. Alice Robb says there are people who get really skilled at this.
And not only recognize that they're in a dream, but then decide to stay in the dream and can even, take control of what happens in it.
She says lucid dreams can be another treatment for nightmares, where you fight off a bully, for instance, but you do it aware at the moment that the whole thing is a dream. So you're kind of making decisions on the fly. You can also use lucid dreaming to practice something, a speech, a performance, or to just have fun, outside the realm of physics. Like in dreams, you may be able to fly or do superhuman things like magic. So if you want to have a lucid dream, a few tips. First, do all the regular stuff. Start remembering your dreams, keep a dream journal, and take note of the recurring symbols or environments that show up. Alice says once you're aware of these, they can help you recognize when you are in a dream. And that's the goal when you're training yourself to lucid dream. You want to be constantly asking yourself throughout the day, am I awake or asleep?
Really taking a moment to consider your surroundings and think, does it feel like I'm in a dream? Is there any evidence that things are shaky? And actually do something like, you might pinch your nostrils and see if you can still breathe. And if you can't breathe, then you're awake.
That's what lucid dreaming researchers call a reality test. Another one, you can poke your hand to see if your finger passes through it, or jump up in the air. Do you drop back down to the ground, or can you suddenly fly? Alice says if you're a beginner, you want to do these reality tests many times a day. And the thinking is that if you get in the habit of doing these in your waking life, your brain will have you do them in a dream too. And that'll cue you in, like, oh, this is a dream.
After that, there are things you can do to prolong the dream and gain higher and higher degrees of control.
Like one researcher finds it helpful to repeat a mantra, like, this is a dream, I am dreaming, to stay in it. By the way, we're just scratching the surface on lucid dreaming techniques. There are books that'll walk you through it in much more detail. One author to look for is the researcher I just mentioned, Stephen LaBerge. He was one of the first people to prove in a lab that lucid dreams are a real thing. He did this back in the 70s and 80s at Stanford. In some studies, LaBerge verified that participants were lucid dreaming by their movements or breath. He would tell them what to do ahead of time, like squeeze your fist or move your eyes in this direction this many times. It's like they were sending a flare signal from the dream world, and it worked. Alice has had a lucid dream. You heard some of it at the beginning of the episode. She was swimming in a pool, but it was this heightened, sensual experience.
It felt wet, it just felt completely lifelike, but I was just also aware that I was asleep. It was great.
Did you do anything wild in that moment? I feel like I would want to turn myself into a whale or something,
Well, it's funny. I was very cautious in my lucid dream state. I was like, wow, you've done it. Let's not push it. Let's just enjoy the moment.
I've had a few lucid dreams too, just kind of by accident. In one of them, I did fly. And in another, I made fruit appear in the palm of my hand. I would say the color red, for instance, and then strawberries would show up. Kind of felt like a half lucid dream because what I really wanted were beams of colored light, but I got fruit instead.
And I think that's what's so interesting about dreams in general and lucid dreams is that you're the author of them, but you're also being constantly surprised by them.
So as you can probably tell, Alice and Deirdre and I are all super into dreams, and we're excited for you to explore them too. But that said, Deirdre wants you to know that dreams are not the end-all be-all, and that's our final takeaway. Remember when Deirdre compared dreams to waking thought? Here's another way they're similar.
I don't think that dreams are all wise. I think they're expressing thoughts and desires and hopes and fears, just like our waking thought, and every waking thought we have is not a good idea. So I think that every dream suggestion we have is not necessarily a good idea.
She says, consider what your sleeping mind has to say and use your dreams as a tool. But also, if none of this is happening for you, you're trying to recall your dreams, you're trying to do lucid dreaming, and it's just not flowing, that's okay.
You shouldn't try to idealize dreams and struggle at it too hard, because I think that human life just has so many potential wondrous paths toward self-exploration and realization. So give dreams a try. They're so wonderful for so many purposes, for so many people. But if they come with great difficulty to you, launch yourself in some other interesting direction.
Okay, it's time for a recap. Dreams have a lot of applications. Think about how you want to use them. Do you want to solve a problem? Are you an artist or a writer or a researcher who's looking for creative inspiration? Are you trying to understand your emotions? These things are all possible with dreaming. When you interpret your dreams, think about what a symbol or a metaphor means to you, not about what a dream dictionary says. You also don't have to wait for dreams to happen to you. You can co-create them, dream incubation, and even lucid dreaming. But remember, dreams are not the only path towards self-exploration. If they're just not happening for you, give it a rest. Try something else. This episode of Life was produced by
What is this penalty for private use? $300.